Welcome back to CDT. It's your boy Ditto. I am not reviewing a car today because, well, other than the fact there's no new cars to review, and I'm not just going to review an old car because they don't tend to do that well. Instead, well, recently I have been looking around servers. I've been on and off in and out of servers, and I found a lot of people with really bad cars, like not as in they can't afford a decent car, so they have to make do with one that's rubbish, but one that's expensive and rubbish. So today I'm making a buyer's guide. I will make more of these in the future for, dirt cars, mountain cars, track cars. But today we're going to be not reviewing, making a buyer's guide for all-round cars. And we'll be going right from the start with the Fiat Multipla. It's terrible. Mine's tuned, will do 135 miles an hour, but does not handle at all. Like, look at this. What is this? It doesn't steer, and it doesn't maintain corner speed. It's bad. So what you want to do when you start the game, you want to try and find something that's probably rear-wheel drive. I would recommend the Lada or the VW Beetle. They are very good cars, and it also means you can start the drift race with them. So, mine's still running on the wrong suspension setup. I was messing around trying to see which ones I could drive into holes. But yeah, these cars are really good all round. Look, that's impressive drifting. So for your budget sub 10,000, would recommend the VW Beetle or the Lada. Or you could try and grind for the tow truck, but you will earn a lot of money that way, so you can get something decent. Then we can look at something below 20,000. I really like the Mazda MX-5. I think it's a great car. Probably one of the best cars below 20 grand. Another really good car, the Subaru Impreza. Or something like this, the Lexus LC500 or the Chrysler 300C. One to not recommend, though, is the Polaris quad bike. Yeah, this is not one you want to get. And then after this, we look at something below 30 grand. And one of the best middle of class 1 cars is this, the Ford Crown Victoria. Here it is. It does 122 miles an hour standard with 7 handling, and the acceleration, when it's standard, is actually really impressive. And also it drifts quite well. In fact, if we put the stock engine on it, standard engine, standard turbo, this thing does genuinely accelerate slightly faster than the standard Lexus LC500, which is like, what, 200 grand? Hold on, somewhere down here. Yeah. 202 grand. Out accelerated by a crappy Ford Crown Victoria. So yeah, would recommend that highly. Then we start looking at something below 50 grand. A lot of these cars are quite rubbish below 50 grand. Like, look at this. Cadillac Escalade. Ugh. Except for one. The Ford Focus RS. I love this car. This car is really amazing. Like, it handles immaculately. It's quite quick. Feels lovely. Okay, maybe it doesn't drift the best, but oh yeah, it doesn't keep its drifts quite well. But it can certainly drift. Like, look at this. That's really impressive. This is one of the best cars in Class 1. Chevrolet Chevelle, well, I would recommend it for drag racing since it is quite powerful. Not for, what was I going to say? I wouldn't recommend it, however, for corners, because it only has 6.6 handling. And I wouldn't recommend this either, the Toyota GT86. Yeah, no. It has decent handling, just like the Chevelle, but really, we look at something good handling, this has a whole handling point better, which is pretty impressive. And then you want to try and get out of Class 1. Maybe get the Mustang. The Mustang tends to be quite good. But really, you want to get out of Class 1 by now. And so we get into Class 2. Cars I'd recommend in Class 2. There's a lot of dirt cars around here, so you know, the Aral Nomad, Volvo XC90, Ford Raptor, and the Range Rover SVR. What you really want, however, is one of these. The Lotus Elise, the Honda NSX, the Lotus Exige, or the Aston Martin DB5. Or, alternatively, you could get the money up and tune one of your lower cars. Tuned cars, well, some of the best ones are the Mustang. And also the GT86. It's a really good little race car, but will also work in the mountains. But tuned cars wise, actually you probably want the Lotus Elise. This car's really impressive value for money. Pretty much just as fast as the Exige, but slightly cheaper. And it feels amazing to drive, very light, very nimble, and it will drift. Impressive stuff from the Elise. Or possibly the BMW M3 is also a really good bet. And then as we move further down, you'll have probably been playing for a few days now and you'll have got this BMW M3 Touring. That's also quite a good car. I'm trying to ignore all the limiteds I have, which is too much. And the next car you want to be buying is probably something around here. I recommend, personally, this, the BMW Z4. Now this car will do an amazing lap time in the mountains, for its class I mean. It also, yes I am driving this one tuned, excuse me. It also drifts well. Sometimes. Other times you often overcook it, so probably not the one you want to drift. Coming down here, we're now below 150 grand, just. Would highly recommend the Porsche Carrera. Like, really, this car is so impressive. While I haven't spec'd it properly, and I have just realised that, it looks absolutely horrible. It does drive really well, and it is also quite a good racer. Oh, and also this one, the 911 Turbo, will also do quite well, but it is slightly more expensive. When you get around here, you could also look at something like this, the Audi e-tron GT. This is actually a really good car, and highly underrated. I never see people using them. I dailied this for quite a while, and it did me good. This was a main car for me. Still got it. And then you can come down here. If you don't want the e-tron GT, you can also get this, the Porsche Tycoon. I highly recommend it as well. The custom wing looks terrible though. Now we get to around the 200k mark. Cars you want to avoid are the Mustang and the Lexus. The Lexus is horrible. Seriously horrible. But a car that isn't horrible is this, the Dodge Viper. This was the last car you'd expect to be a nice driving, you know, sports car. But amazingly, it's really good. And it is also incredibly powerful. Come down further, we have... Oh, is this a limited? It's a limited, isn't it? Yeah, it is limited. But you do want to get the Porsche GT3. This car is really impressive on the racetrack. You can surprise a lot of people in it. It's also good on the mountains. And now we're into Class 3. There is so much stuff for you to get around this £250,000 mark. The Ferrari Testarossa, is the SLS drop top? Yeah, the SLS drop top, the Testarossa, the AMG GTR. All of these are pretty safe bets. But if you want a really good one, save for this, the Ferrari 458. For some reason, it's better than the F8. Why did they make it that way? I don't know, but I'll go with it. And then we sort of get to around, basically between 250,000 and 500,000. There is such a large amount of cars, it's amazing. One thing you do want to get is this, the Audi R8. This is one of those really, really well built 4-wheel drive cars, feels really tight. It's really safe to drive, probably won't try to spit you into a ditch. But it is still properly nice to drive, powerful, and it's also really fast in the mountain race, and I'm not sure why. I'll go with it. Alternatively, you could also save up past that for this and GTR. However, the power and price difference is really not good. Put it this way, how fast is this car standard? 188 miles an hour standard for the R8. 192 miles an hour standard for the GTR, but it's 100 grand more. Not a good bet, personally. But it is still just as good as the R8. We're now above 500 grand. And a really nice car to get above 500 grand is the Tesla Roadster. This is 700 grand, and I also dailied this for quite a while, but back in the day when electric cars were good. And it's still electrifying to drive, like, seriously. That's a pretty impressive acceleration stat. At least until they added turbochargers into this game and completely ruined electric cars. Which was sad. I miss those days. Anyway, let's go to 1 million now. Or just around 1 million. There's so many cars between here and basically 1.5 million. It's uncanny. Safe picks. Ford GT, Senna, and Aston Martin Valhalla. These are all very impressive cars. Will really beat quite a lot of stuff. Like, seriously a lot of stuff. This car is very fast. And also very fast on the track because of its amazing brakes. Ooh, does this game have brake glow? No. Okay. And then we jump to about 2.5 million. These two cars here, the Koenigsegg Gemera and the Koenigsegg Regera, these cars are amazing. These cars have such good acceleration, they drive well, and they also drift really well. Look at that! This running slick tyres, and I've spun it. And then, after you get those, sure you might be tempted by something like this, the Lotus Evira. That's also a really good car. Or the Aston Martin Vulcan. But you really want to save all the way up to this. The Bugatti Chiron. This is the best value for money car in the game. Very nice to drive, good looking, powerful, handles well, and it drifts really well, even on slicks. I would absolutely recommend this on your journey. to, you know, getting the F5. And then after this, you can sort of do what you want with when you've got that amount of money. Oh, you can't get the F5 anymore, I forgot. Yeah, just go up to the Rimac after this, because there's only 2 cars better than it. Because of all the ones they've removed. Yeah, it's really sad. Oh god, that means you can't get the M3, can you? Or the DB5. Can you get the DB5? No, yeah, you can still get the DB5. Yeah, so strike what I said about the M3 earlier. I forgot it got removed from the shop. In fact, no, I did know when it had been removed from the shop, but I'm having a punt at Foxy. So yeah, best value for money car in the game, Bugatti Chiron. Other cars, Ford Crown Victoria. Thanks for watching. Spend safely. I can't talk, I have 300 cars, but that's not the point. Buy well. Don't remove any more car brands, Foxy. Goodbye.